that's the tragedy for those who love him. The tragedy that was his came 30 years ago Monday night. Things have been going well for Tony C. He was a hit in his hometown. He was on his way to a great baseball career. Then a pitch took him down. Jack Edwards tells the story.
There's a drive by Conigliaro, and it is out of here. What a bomb he had. Conigliaro hit the home run his first time at bat at Fenway Park.
Tony Conigliaro was the local boy who made it. Of America's largest cities, Boston may be the most tightly knit town, and Tony C. was the fabric's most lustrous thread. He grew up in Revere, 10 miles from the Green Monster. And Conigliaro was revered.
He was in the limelight in high school. He was #1 scorer in basketball. He was a great quarterback. He always was #1, and he was always looked up to.
He signed with the Red Sox at 18, and the next year, in 1964, he made the opening day roster. In his second season, at age 20, he became the youngest player ever to lead a league in homers. By age 22, he was the youngest ever to hit 100 career home runs. The Beantown Dream was Tony Conigliaro's life.
He loved being a Major League ball player. I mean, that was, it's like a guy who was born to play Major League Baseball. That was Tony.
Anytime somebody, particularly from New England, makes it to the big leagues and playing for the Boston Red Sox, that's big news.
In the midst of the 1967 pennant race, it all changed. The Angels' Jack Hamilton was the pitcher. Buck Rogers was the catcher.
Tony Conigliaro, in Boston especially, crowded the plate. And we pitched inside. I think everybody in the league pitched him inside.
It was a pitch that was thrown up and in, and I remember that Tony had no movement whatsoever until the very last second, and I could hear the umpire and the catcher say, you know, watch out.
Tony just froze. He didn't move at all, and the ball just took off and sailed and went right up and hit him. And he went down with a loud thud.
It almost sounded like it hit him in the helmet. And then he went down, and it was obvious that, you know, it had done more than that.
The sound that was made from that is something I'll never forget. The only thing I can compare is maybe if somebody had a melon and just threw it on the floor and you'd hear the squash.
He was down right away. He just actually just went right down the ground as soon as they hit him. He never, you know, he never flinched or anything.
I could see his side of his face just swell up like a balloon, and the blood started going into his eye area.
There was blood coming out of his mouth and his ear.
And I met Buck Rogers in the middle of coming in from the pitcher's mound, and he said, just go on back there, Jack. So I just went on back to the mound, and I knew he was hurt, so I was scared.
We didn't realize it would be that bad of a deal. We just figured he'd jump back up again like always and go on, but it didn't happen that way.
The moment which truncated Tony C.'s season altered his life. Still, questions linger 30 years later.
After they took him off the field in an ambulance and everything, everybody started down, but it must have been a spitter, and he had no control over it.
There was always a question about me throwing a spitter, and I'll be honest with you, I threw it in my time. At this time of the year, and this time of my career, I was throwing better than I ever have in my life. And I didn't have to throw the spitter at that time.
Jack Hamilton did throw a spitball, yes. That was not a spitball.
Billy Conigliaro thought I hit Tony Conigliaro on purpose. And that really hurt me because I don't think there's anybody that was playing the game at that time, and I had a lot of friends that ever thought that.
I was there. There was some talk about it that, you know, if Tony crowds the plate, I'm going to throw at him. There's no doubt that's what happened.
I'm not the kind of man who would hit anybody on purpose, and I never have and never would.
After missing the rest of '67, he started strongly in spring training the next year, but went home after striking out 8 times in 10 at-bats. He had a detached retina.
I have no depth perception, and in the last 7 games that I played, I did not see the ball at all.
He did a test with me. He said, close your left eye. He threw a baseball at me. The thing bounced off my hand. He said, this is pretty much how it is for me.
It was no better for Jack Hamilton, whose remaining days as a major league pitcher would be few and difficult.
At the time, I got a lot of threatening letters back when I got to California in the mail. Not to come back into Boston, I would be hurt and so forth. I just let that go bypass.
He was gone out of baseball within 2 years after that, and he was never quite the same. I don't think he wanted to pitch anybody tight anymore.
It's something hung on to me forever, and it probably will continue to hang on to me.
Conigliaro hung on to his dream and did come back.
Drive to left center, players back, and it is home run for Conigliaro. What a story here. And look at him.
He hit 20 homers in 1969, easily the comeback player of the year.
I don't think too many people could have had the courage nor the fortitude to go out and get back up to the plate and hit like he hit later on.
In 1970, 36 homers, 116 RBI, the best numbers of his life.
It wasn't a matter of whether or not I could do it. It's a matter of I must do it.
Everything was going good, and all of a sudden, the off-season, the trade happens. Everyone's shocked.
I don't want to go to California, but that's the way trades are. You don't have a chance to say anything.
That was a terrible year for Tony. Really a terrible year. He didn't get along with the Angels.
A single season in California, then a last comeback attempt with the Red Sox in '75. He retired after 21 games. He was 30 years old. Tony C. turned to broadcasting, and in 1982 auditioned for the Red Sox color commentator's job. Billy was driving him to the airport after the winning audition. Suddenly, nearly all was lost.
I asked Tony a question, and he kind of like flinched a little bit, and I asked him again, and he kind of clenched his fist, and I saw a tear come out of his left eye, and his eyes closed. And I just thought he was having trouble breathing.
Tony had a heart attack. You can't say Tony had a heart attack. He's 37 years old.
It took the doctors 20 minutes to get his heart started again. And that's what caused all the problems, brain damage.
Tony Conigliaro needed 24-hour care for the rest of his life.
It was so devastating at that time to try to recover from the attack that things were never going to be the same for him.
There's no reason somebody should suffer like that. It was 8 years of suffering.
Conigliaro died in the winter of 1990. The kid from whom such hope had sprung became Boston's tragic figure.
I can't think of a sadder thing that ever happened in my lifetime regarding baseball than Tony Conigliaro's misfortune.
The worst thing that hurts me, that I've always thought about, if my being had any effect at all on his death. And I suppose I never will find the answer, but I wish that somebody knew the answer, they would let me know.
It's just sad to think back and just not be able to say that what he did. It's always what he could have done if he was healthy. That's the sad thing.
Jack Edwards, the reporter on that story. Conigliaro's injury prompted Major League Baseball to try to take a step to prevent this from occurring again.